Stop guessing why average is hurting your dairy profits. 1. Introduction. As a dairy farmer, you track everything: milk yield, feed consumption, somatic cell counts, breeding cycles, and the ups and downs of your herd. Every number tells a story, but here's the question. Are you only looking at the average? Most farmers do, and it feels safe. The average gives you a sense of stability. A clean, simple number that says, everything is fine. But relying on averages alone is like driving your tractor while staring only at the rearview mirror. Sure, you'll stay in the middle of the road, but you'll never see the cliff ahead. You'll miss the potholes, the sudden turns, and the danger that's right in front of you. Because the truth is this: your cows don't live in the average, they live in the day-to-day. And that day-to-day is where the real story is hiding. Some cows are steady, reliable, predictable, consistent. Others are roller coasters, soaring one day, crashing the next, and yet, on paper, their averages look identical. That's the illusion that blinds so many farmers. But today, we're breaking that illusion. Today, we're talking about a tool that transforms your farm data into an early warning system. A tool that exposes the wobble, reveals hidden health issues, and shows you the crisis before it hits your tank average. That tool is standard deviation, the number that tells you how far a cow wanders from her normal. When you understand this number, you stop reacting late and start acting early. You stop guessing and start managing with precision. You stop losing money quietly and start protecting your herd loudly. This is the math that keeps your farm one step ahead. 2. The core concept: what standard deviation really reveals. Let's break down one of the most important numbers in dairy farming. A number that separates stable, profitable herds from unpredictable, risky ones. It's called standard deviation. Now, that might sound like a complicated math term, but the idea behind it is simple. Standard deviation measures how much your observations differ from the average. In other words, it tells you how far your cows wander from what you consider normal. To understand this, imagine two farms. Both proudly report an average milk yield of 30 liters per cow per day. On paper, they look identical. If you only look at the average, you'd think both farms are performing at the same level, but averages can hide the truth. On Farm A, every cow gives between 29 and 31 liters. Day after day, the numbers stay tight. This farm is consistent, predictable, reliable. The farmer knows what tomorrow will look like because yesterday and today look almost the same. Now look at Farm B. Here, some cows give 50 liters, and others give 15. The average still lands at 30, but the story underneath is chaos, huge swings, big risks, no predictability. This is where standard deviation becomes your truth teller. A low standard deviation means your cows stay close to their middle road. They're steady earners, they're dependable. A high standard deviation means your herd is wobbling, drifting far from the average, hiding health issues, nutrition problems, or management gaps. Two farms, same average, completely different realities. Farm A is a picture of stability. Farm B is a ticking time bomb. And without standard deviation, you'd never know the difference. Standard deviation exposes the wobble. It reveals the hidden chaos behind the average. It shows you which cows are quietly struggling long before the tank average drops. When you understand this number, you stop being surprised by sudden crashes. You start predicting them. You start preventing them. That's the power of standard deviation, the number that reveals the truth behind the average, and the foundation of every smart, data-driven dairy farm. 3. Applications and the why. Why standard deviation matters on your farm. Now that we understand what standard deviation is, let's talk about the part that truly matters. Why this number can transform the way you manage your dairy farm. Because this isn't just math, this is management, this is prevention, this is profit protection. Let's start with the most familiar number on your farm: milk yield. Every day you watch the tank, you know your herd's average. But the average doesn't tell you when something is going wrong. Standard deviation does. When you have a stable herd, cows that normally stay within a tight range, a sudden deviation is your first sign of trouble. Maybe the ration changed, maybe the water pressure dropped, maybe the feed mixer wasn't calibrated, maybe a cow is starting to fight an infection. A large deviation in a normally steady cow is like a red warning light on your tractor dashboard. It tells you, something is off, check this now. And the beauty is, you see it before the tank average drops, before the problem becomes expensive, before the stress hits your bottom line. Now let's talk about disease surveillance, especially mastitis. Subclinical mastitis doesn't announce itself with clots or swelling. It whispers. It starts with small yield drops, tiny changes in behavior, subtle shifts in quarter performance. Standard deviation catches these whispers. When your mastitis cases begin to rise, the variation in yields rises first, the wobble increases, the data starts shaking long before the disease becomes visible. This means you can intervene early. Isolate the cow, adjust treatment, check hygiene, review milking routines, and prevent a farm-wide outbreak. One early catch can save thousands in lost milk, treatment costs, and culling decisions. Now let's move to feed efficiency, one of the biggest cost centers on any dairy farm. Feed is money. Every kilogram matters. Every wasted bite is profit slipping away. When you monitor variation in yield, you're also monitoring how well your cows are converting feed into milk. If variation spikes, it may mean the ration isn't balanced. The mixer is inconsistent. Sorting is happening at the bunk. A group isn't getting equal access to the feed. Standard deviation helps you see these issues early. It tells you when your nutrition plan is working. And when it's quietly failing, it helps you reduce waste, tighten your feeding strategy, and improve your cost-to-milk ratio. And here's the best part. Whether you run a small family farm with 40 cows or a large commercial operation with 4,000, these data points scale perfectly. The math doesn't care about herd size. The signals are the same. The early warnings are the same. And the savings in time, money, and stress are the same. Standard deviation gives you the power to act early, to prevent problems instead of reacting to them, to manage with confidence instead of guessing, to protect your herd, your milk, and your peace of mind. This is why the number matters. This is why the wobble matters. This is why data-driven farming isn't the future. It's the present, and it's how you stay one step ahead every single day. 4. Limitations and the reality using standard deviation wisely. Standard deviation is a powerful tool, but like every tool on the farm, it has its limits, and understanding those limits is what makes you a smarter, more confident manager. Let's start with the first reality. Standard deviation is sensitive to extremes. If one cow is sick, injured, or recovering from calving, her numbers can swing wildly. That single outlier can stretch your deviation and make the whole herd look unstable. So you can't just look at the number blindly, you have to ask, is this a real herd-level wobble? Or just one cow having a bad day? The second reality is this. Standard deviation tells you what is happening, not why. It's a smoke alarm, not a diagnosis. It can't tell you whether the problem is heat stress, genetics, poor feed, water quality, bunk competition, or a cow that simply didn't finish her ration. You still have to play detective. You still have to walk the pens, check the feed, watch behavior, and talk to your team. The number points you to the fire, but you still have to find the source. And here's the third reality. Standard deviation works best when paired with your averages. Averages show the big picture. Standard deviation reveals the underlying movement. Together, they give you a complete story, the what and the how much. When you use both, you stop reacting late. You stop waiting for the tank average to collapse before you take action. You stop being surprised by sudden drops in yield or spikes in disease. Instead, you become proactive. You catch problems early. You intervene before the crisis hits. You manage with confidence instead of stress. So yes, standard deviation has limitations. But when you understand those limits and use it alongside your averages, it becomes one of the most powerful tools on your farm. Turns you from a manager who reacts to problems into a manager who prevents them. 5. Call to action. Start managing with precision. Hidden problems are the most expensive problems on a dairy farm. They steal your milk quietly. They drain your profits silently. And they wait until it's too late before they show up in your tank average. But you don't have to manage in the dark anymore. This week, start tracking the consistency of your herd. Not just the totals, not just the averages, but the spread of your numbers. If you're using tech, open your dashboard and look at the highs and lows. If you're using simple logs or notebooks, flip through the last 7 days and ask yourself, are my cows steady or wobbling? Because the wobble tells the truth. The wobble reveals the early warning signs. The wobble shows you the problems before they become crises. When you start paying attention to variation, you stop losing money quietly. You stop reacting late. You start managing with precision. And if this helped you see your herd in a new way, make sure you subscribe. This channel is all about data-driven farm management, practical tools, simple explanations, and real strategies that protect your milk, your cows, and your peace of mind. Now I want to hear from you. What's the biggest data challenge you're facing on your farm right now? Is it tracking yields, spotting health issues early, understanding feed efficiency, or just getting started with the numbers? Drop it in the comments below. Your question might be the next video, and your challenge might be the breakthrough someone else needs. Start today. Track the spread, protect your profits, and manage your herd with confidence.